Welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another insight. My name is Vince, aka Funny Mac. I've been quiet for a bit of a while, but that is really because I wanted to think about the value that I provide through my channel and how I can impact you through the content that I do deliver. So I really look forward to sharing with you the insight that I have today. I really pray that you're going to take a lot of value out of this and take this into your own particular journey. Today I want to speak about, the one thing that I've battled with for the greatest part of my life. And since learning to make the switch, my life has been exponentially different. And I believe your life can be exponentially different as well. I apologize about all the noise. I'm sitting on a busy street corner, but I really wanted to get outside and just, experience a different view, a different perspective. So today I'm speaking about, being a people pleaser versus being pleasing to God. And there's a massive difference between that. And I didn't realize it and understand it. How my nature of pleasing people was really disrupting my growth and my development and my perspective with God. So by watching this insight, you too might actually grab that understanding and apply it to your own life and say, you know what, I have been people pleasing as opposed to being pleasing to God, living my life as a living sacrifice to God. So I hope you take the value from this insight and apply it to your own life, and then you will definitely start seeing changes because you will start living your life God's way. Thank you for joining me for another insight. I try to provide you value through these insights from a grounded perspective to help shift your thinking so that you can elevate your life and truly start living God's way. I happened to catch, I would say, a glimpse of Daystar television this week. And, I'm not really a massive fan of the channel, but we have different perspectives. But this particular conversation that they had, it caught my attention, right? And I want to share value from that particular conversation that they had, but I want to bring my own perspective and my own thinking into all of this. Now, they were basically speaking about Jacob, Leah, and Rachel and the relationship with regards to that marriage that they found themselves in. And it had me looking at it from a different perspective with regards to my life and how some of us actually battle through life. This might relate to you, this might not relate to you, but I do feel that we all do have this element of what we call people pleasing in our day-to-day walks, where we are trying to be more pleasing to man as opposed to be more pleasing to God. And I hope that this insight will give you that shift in your thinking so that you can see through Rachel's lineage how shifting your thinking from being a people pleaser to being pleasing to God really blesses the rest of your life, the rest of your lineage as well. So I hope you take the value out of this insight. I really hope that if this applies to you, that you're going to make that shift in terms of your life, because it has made a dramatic change in my own journey and in my own life. Okay, so I don't want to go into too much of a backstory about this, the story of Rachel, Jacob, and Leah, where Jacob was tricked into marrying Leah and then had to work another 7 years and finally get to marry Rachel. Rachel was basically the love of his life. This was the woman that he fell in love with when he initially got to the land of Haran, his ancestors' land. And because of his love for Rachel, he neglected Leah. And Leah had this void in her life that she was desperately trying to fill. She felt unworthy in the marriage, and because of that, she tried to be a people pleaser, tried to be more pleasing towards Jacob. Now, God saw the situation. God always sees everything that happens in our lives in any event. But he saw this particular situation. He saw the heartbreak in Leah's life. And, because of that, he closed off Rachel's womb and he opened up Leah's womb. And she bore him 4 sons. Now, this was the interesting part of all of this. You see, when she had her first son, she thought that, okay, because she bore Jacob a son, surely he's going to love her right now. But he didn't show her much love, right? Then she had the second son and she thought, okay, this time around he really is going to start showing me more love. But it didn't happen that way. And she then had the third son and she said, definitely on this occasion, this man will absolutely love me. But again, nothing came through. And because of that 3 situations where she had 3 sons, but this man just wouldn't shift his perspective to loving her more or giving her the love that she actually required, when she had the 4th son, she made a commitment. She said, you know what, because God has seen my afflictions, I'm going to dedicate this child and just say thank you to the Lord at the end of the day. The Bible says very clear, because when she did that, God closed up her womb. She didn't have any more children after that. And this is the powerful thing about that whole situation, that all changed, because initially she was a people pleaser. Initially she tried to please man in order to get acceptance and worthiness in the eyes of man, and it never happened. But then she shifted her focus to God and she said, you know what, I'm going to be more pleasing to God. I'm going to live my life more pleasing to God. Something amazing happened the moment she did that, and something amazing, I guarantee you, will happen in your life the moment you start shifting your focus from trying to please man to being more pleasing to God in your walk. You see, if we follow the lineage, Judah was the fourth born son that Leah bore to Jacob. And when Judah was born and when she started shifting her perspective from pleasing man to being pleasing to God, the entire lineage changed, because out of that lineage of Judah came David, and out of that lineage of David came the Messiah, Jesus. See, God already preordained and predestined the coming of the Messiah. In Genesis chapter 3 already let us know that there's a Messiah coming, but he never told us through which lineage that Messiah would be coming. And because Leah made this one dramatic change in her life, that opened up the path for the Messiah to enter into her life. So that was so incredible to pick that up. And I started making that change in my life as well. As soon as I stopped trying to be more pleasing to people and stopped trying to, because I had a deep sense of unworthiness within myself. I had this deep sense or essence of understanding that I need to be more people pleasing to be more accepted by people. And that resulted in me becoming socially awkward, distant. I couldn't really relate to people properly. My relationship skills were very, very poor in the past because my perception and my thinking was all wrong in all the wrong places. I tried to be more pleasing to man as opposed to be pleasing to God. But when I made that shift, when I made that change, when I was forced to look inside and say, like, you have to make a change within yourself. When I made that shift and I made that change to become more pleasing to God as opposed to being more pleasing to man, something inside of me fundamentally changed and shifted as well. And there was this exponential shift within me. Now my life has more purpose, it has more direction, and I find myself having much more greater breakthroughs in terms of my journey, in terms of my life. And like I said, that happened because I fundamentally made that shift from being a people pleaser to being more pleasing to God. And when you shift your life from trying to be a people pleaser to living your life to being more pleasing to God, there will be a radical shift, a fundamental shift, but also a radical shift. They call it in self-development a quantum leap in terms of your behavior, in terms of your outcomes, in terms of your results. There will be such a massive shift that people on the outside will start seeing it and recognizing it and saying, wow, there's something completely different about you. And that is what I want to encourage you through this insight, just like Leah, find yourself with the fourth born. Give birth to a new identity in terms of who you are in relation to your relationship with the Lord. Okay, so I hope you took encouragement from this particular share, this insight. It really was an eye-opener for me when I read the story in that way, and I started seeing our change in thinking, a change in perspective from being pleasing to people to being pleasing to God radically, drastically changed my own life. And like I said, I believe it will do exactly the same for you as well. It's done the same for Leah, it's done it for me. It must, by reason, do the same for you as well. Now, if you took value from this particular insight, then please share it with the next person. Let's impact as many people as we can so that they can start making that shift in their lives from trying to be people-pleasing to being more God-pleasing. And if you haven't yet, by all means, I want to encourage you, subscribe to this channel because I'm trying to provide you value from a grounded perspective, helping you shift your thinking so that you can ultimately live your life God's way, because God planned this magnificent and incredible life for you. Definitely give the channel a like. I really love hearing your feedback, your support. I apologize for being AWOL for the past 2 weeks. I was really thinking about, what the approach was that I wanted to bring on my next insight. And I really wanted to tap into God so that I can bring something of value, of substance that will really help you in terms of your particular journey. And I hope that I have delivered with regards to that aspect on this insight. If I have, please drop me your comments. I love reading your feedback. I love hearing from you. I love getting your thoughts and your take on these particular insights. I look forward to seeing you on the next insight. I look forward to providing you with more value from a grounded perspective. So for now, this is Vinnie Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.